Welcome to Forever, man. Let's go. Come on. This forever. No surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. Go. And there will be no surrender. Now allow me to reintroduce myself.
You're now tuned in to the Dads Who Live podcast. I'm Joel Staley with my co-host Tyler Gata.
This week on the Dads Who Live podcast, Joel and Tyler invite their friends again to talk about how they define success and how your lasting legacy impacts your decisions in business, relationships, and life in general. Also, Joel has a wild dream he shares with the group.
All right, welcome to the Dads Who Live podcast. We got Tyler Gata,
Joel Staley, Bryan Hull,
John Baumgartner. All right, so for this podcast, it's probably going to be a quick little fire podcast, but I want to talk about perspective. And
Dude, real quick before we get into the deep shit, can I talk about a dream I had last night?
Fucking me. Was it a wet dream?
No, it wasn't. It was like the opposite.
I don't know if I want to hear about it then.
So, like, if you had asked me yesterday if I could kill someone, I'd say, yeah, probably. I mean, in the right circumstances. Last night I have this dream that I'm in some building with my family, and this crew of like 6 guys and this girl come in. They all have these huge machine guns and all this shit. Everyone's taking cover. I'm with the family. We're tucked in some room. And like, luckily, I guess, this little like the 120 pound blonde girl or whatever with the big machine gun, she comes in and she's holding us hostage.
So it was a hot girl with a machine gun.
Yeah, she was a good looking girl. She wasn't naked.
Oh, damn.
But so here she's holding us hostage or whatever. Then she like looks out the window quick, and I'm like, oh fuck, now's my chance, because I'm not gonna go out, have my whole family taken out by this 120 pound chick. So she looks out the window. She's still got the gun on us, but I find like a frame off the wall or something. I just crack her over the head, but she's getting back up, and I couldn't reach her gun, dude. I had to like strangle her to death. Oh, and it was like, and it felt so real.
Was this during a fast?
No, this was after our review last night. So then, like, you don't realize how hard it is how hard you got to squeeze and like how long it took.
Oh, it was
and then
vivid.
she killed over dead, dude. I woke up this morning like,
that was last night?
what the fuck?
Dude, sometimes when I take melatonin, I get some
I did have melatonin last night.
Sometimes when I take
man.
melatonin,
Really?
I feel like it puts you into a deeper state, so then you can actually like dream. I usually don't even dream.
It was brutal, dude. Like I felt
That's
like I
crazy.
took a life last night. It's still sticking with
Oh
me.
my god, that's
And it
crazy.
wasn't like some jack dude I'd feel all right about, like it's hand-to-hand
Some little
combat.
twat.
It was like, I gotta feel bad, but my family's here. Like, what would you do?
I'm not gonna lie, man. In my younger days, I was one of those guys that used to wish someone would break into my house just so I could fucking pop them. I don't know what it is. It's just, I mean, it's
And
weird.
with a gun, it's different,
Yeah.
man. But with your hands, it was fucking brutal. And it felt like it took forever. I'm like, oh my God, just die already. Like, I'm tired of doing this.
Anymore though, don't break into my house. I don't want anybody breaking into my house.
Right.
Yeah,
But I had to get that out there, man. It's been weighing on me.
that's
like
crazy.
nuts.
Good thing it was a dream,
Yeah, thank God. Well, hopefully it wasn't.
Yeah.
right? Unless you were
Hopefully it
sleepwalking
didn't go
somewhere.
werewolf.
Then I felt like even my family was pissed at me in the dream. They're like, dude, that was a girl. You're like twice the size.
Right.
And I'm like,
Here's the
she's
deal,
gonna
man.
Guilt
kill
trip
us.
me. I just saved you.
It was a dream, but if you ever put me in a situation where it's my life or my family's life over yours, you're gonna die.
No brainer.
That's it. And I'm not gonna feel bad about it.
Right.
So you're good, dude. You did the right dream thing.
The right dream.
Yeah, you did the right dream thing.
All right, cool.
Your subconscious was on point.
Yep.
All right,
You reacted
nice.
appropriately.
Yeah, I don't know where that shit came from. I will say, actually, I think I do know where it came from because, which now we are getting kind of deep. My grandpa died last week,
Oh man.
and it was crazy because,
You didn't even tell me that.
Yeah.
like, a week and a half ago,
Joel doesn't show feelings.
me and Amy are always watching 2020 or Dateline or some shit like that, and there's like they always come in, they see the dead body, and I asked Amy, I'm like, you're 30 something, have you ever seen a dead body in your life? It's crazy how we know all these people. She's never seen a dead body. I'd never seen a dead body. And then it was like 4 days later, my grandpa died, and before they called the people to come like pick him up, he was on bed rest at his house. So we went and saw him. It was like the first dead body I'd ever seen. And last night's dream was like, it was kind of the point we wish we didn't see him because we want to remember him how he was with life in him. And like, if you've never seen a dead body, it doesn't really look the same. So in that dream last night, yeah, like I killed this lady, and it kind of had that whole feel like flopped over. She's white now. She's dead. And it was like, oh, fuck, dude. I woke up this morning like, what the fuck?
What I will say on that is that, like, so I've seen when I was 16, I had two of my cousins that passed away from a car accident. And I saw one of them. One was dead on the scene. One was, they kept him alive on a ventilator and whatever. And I saw him when I was 16 on that ventilator, and like he was all, double the size because he just got in a car wreck, and he ended up passing away. But it's not a good thing to see. But what I'm saying is, or what I'm getting at with that and your dream is like, or your grandpa, and you just had a buddy that passed away too, is that life is what you make it, man. And it's not promised tomorrow. It's not even promised today. Like, we might leave this motherfucker and head to wherever we're heading and die. So make the most out of every single fucking second that you can, man.
Yeah. And funerals, we had to do a memorial for him because of this whole COVID deal going on. There was only like 16 people there. Everyone's saying their memories and stuff like that. But funerals are always a time for me when I leave there. I'm like, it's just a reminder. Do the right thing, because people are going to be talking over your casket someday, and you want to make stories with people and have memories that people can share and laugh and have a beer with. Don't be a dick. So people do celebrate your life. They're not like, well, he's gone. And shit, man, it's like, I hope there's not a pandemic, or that I'm just not such a piece of shit that only a handful of people can show up. I would hope that I have friends there, family there, old clients there, like a lot of people. It sounds vain, but when I'm looking down, if I'm seeing 10 or 15 people, I'm going to be like, damn, that was my life, and this is who showed up.
Yeah, I don't think that's vain at all. I think, you want to have a legacy. You want to impact people,
right.
Period. I mean, I agree. I want people to show up at my funeral because I impacted them. And a friend of my friends so I never heard this story, and we were sharing, and I went up first. I waited. No one wanted to go up. So I went up first and shared. Obviously my best friend probably was appropriate for me to kind of step up, but then some girl I didn't even know came up and spoke, and my buddy had like a work little S10 car, truck, whatever. He gave to this girl who was on hard times, just gave it to her. Here, use it for a few months, get on your feet, don't want nothing, didn't ask for nothing. And I was like, man, what a legacy. Like, that's awesome to be able to have someone come and share a story like that. And totally just went out of his way, a giving person. So, yeah, absolutely. I want to leave a legacy like that and have people come and speak. I think
this actually goes right into the topic that I wanted to talk about. Crazy enough. That was perfect, man.
Good segue.
Good segue. But what I want to talk about is how do you judge success in your life? What makes you successful? Like, everybody's got something that they look at and they can say, okay, I'm on track, or feel good about where they are in their life. Whether it's a lot of people, it's money, careers, whatever it is. Like, the first part to this is what makes you successful in your own mind, and where are your priorities at? And I have a little story. So for me, I have a set number that I like to see in my bank account. And I tend, even though this is not right and this is not how I want to live my life, but I tend to base my success in my own mind off that number. And if that number gets lower than I like to see, I feel like a piece of shit. If that number gets higher than I like to see, I feel like I'm on top of the world. You know what I mean? How
many digits is it?
I'm not telling you. But
0,
but so the funny thing is I started thinking about this, and I've been doing a lot of readjusting of my finances and reevaluating kind of how I spend money and where I'm at in my life. I'm in my 30s now. You have to start thinking about these things. And so I read this book. I don't know if you started reading it yet, but I read this book.
I got it the other day.
Automatic Millionaire. And I recommend anybody check this book out, Automatic Millionaire. Anybody can become a millionaire. It doesn't matter if you only make, $50,000 a year, you can become a millionaire. And it actually teaches you how, saving your $5 Starbucks every day can turn you into a millionaire over 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? Through investments. So I read this book, and I have investments, and I've been doing some things right, but I can definitely do more. And I definitely spend money frivolously. And it's like this lifestyle that I've built, I guess, where I just spend money on basically whatever the fuck I want. And so but it's crazy because so what I did is I'm redoing all my investments because of this book. And so I sat down with my financial advisor and I'm going through all my loans, right? And so he's having me and we're looking into bringing 401ks into the companies, which is great because of this. But, he has me write down all of my loans and what I owe, right? And so I had this number in my mind of what I thought I owed. And it ended up being more than that number in my mind of what I actually thought I owed. And it's a lot of money. We're talking like between all my businesses, equipment, my house, all the things that I have, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Now, in retrospect, I'm worth a lot more than that. So it's not like I'm doing horrible. It's, it'd be a lot like, if you had a $50,000 house or assets and you owe $10,000 in debt or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's still manageable, even though I owe hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, but still to look at that and be like, all right, I'm 31 years old. I'm I'm more in debt than I thought I would even ever have when I was a kid. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Right. And so it got me thinking. And I'm looking at my bank account, right? And I got this number in my mind that I want my bank account to be at, but I don't even think about what I owe, really. I mean, I make the payments. I mean, I do things that are good things. Like I have investments that come out automatically out of my checks. I don't even think about it. That's what the automatic millionaire basically is. And I have, like my mortgage is on a 15-year mortgage, so it'll pay it off quicker. I do shit like that. But other than that, like I'm just making the payments and not even really thinking about what I owe. And I got to thinking like, that's so fucking opposite. Like I should be living more broke, paying off all my shit. And it doesn't really matter what's in the bank account. I should be looking at what I own, how many assets I have. Like that's a poor man's mentality to look at your bank account to say that you're rich or successful.
Yeah, because it's not making you any money.
Yeah, so. What is true rich and success is how many assets you own. And it doesn't matter if you have everything loaned out your ass and you don't really fucking owe anything. You know what I mean? So that number that's in my head, that shit needs to go out the fucking window. And I need to pay off more debt, actually own more of my shit, get ahead and pay less interest. I mean, you're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars over maybe a 5-year period of interest. And that bank account's going to be lower because I'm paying more. You know what I mean? So what I started doing is I started making double payments on every single one of my loans. I've got a couple that are zero interest. So those motherfuckers, I'm not because it's free money. But 90% of my loans, starting last week, I started making double payments. And I also started putting more into my investments too, because I want to be set up down the road. So I guess that's one part of where I'm going, and I'm going to turn this loose to everybody else here in a sec, but that's one part of where I'm going. But then the other part is, so I'm doing these things and I'm kind of reevaluating what makes me successful financially, right? And these are things that I think this is shit people need to hear. Like it doesn't matter this whole social media bullshit of everybody stunting, everybody on there living this life, this high life. It's all a highlight reel. It's all fucking bullshit. This guy can have, what I found is like true wealth is not really, I mean, there are definitely wealthy people and I'm not even close to the top wealthy anywhere really. Like I'm just starting, but there's a lot of motherfuckers that'll roll around in their Rolls Royce or, their Escalade or whatever they are. They buy that $5,000 watch and they post it up on IG that have like fucking nothing in the bank, like no savings, nothing in the bank, or they owe on everything, like they got this big ass house with this pool and this lake house and this Mastercraft boat, but they owe on every single part of it, just completely loaned out their asses. And that's not true wealth. You know what I mean? So, it doesn't matter. I guess what I'm saying is it doesn't matter what anybody else fucking says, what anybody else thinks. You don't need to stunt or roll off into this social media bullshit that everybody puts this highlight reel up. You know what true wealth is in your mind and you know what you're doing to yourself. And that's kind of the direction that I'm trying to get myself in as I get older. And, when you're in your 20s, obviously, I go buy the shit and have fun. But anymore, I try to look at things as like investments. If I buy something, what am I going to sell that for? You know what I mean? Like vehicles are the worst motherfucking investments you can ever buy. Ever. And like, I'm the guy that my last truck was lifted with 37-inch tires and 22s and chipped and deleted and like decked out. And I spent all, bumpers and I spent all this money on these vehicles that I never get back. I just sold a Razor a Polaris Razor 4-seater that I put all this fucking money in, decked out to the nines, and you sell it and you never get anything back. You know what I mean? So now when I'm buying things, I'm trying to look into it as like, what am I going to get out of it? I bought a new truck. It's staying stock. I'm not doing anything else to it. So anything I look at, I'm trying to see it as an investment. You're still going to lose on things, but I'm just trying to have a different perspective. But the second part is then I get into this deal of, you know, me and my mind and mindset. I get into this thing that I'm still basing, even though these are good things to talk about and good things to do, I'm still basing my success off money. I'm not looking at my success as, is my son happy? What kind of life am I giving him? How many vacations are we taking? Am I enjoying this life? Because guess what, motherfucker? You're going to die. Everybody here is going to die. That's one thing that is certain. You're going to fucking die. So at the end of the day, I want to leave a legacy for my kid, and I want to do it right to where it's like, you know, my kids can have some money from my investments and stuff like that. But it's about balance. I also need to live that life and enjoy it with people so that, like you said, when I fucking die, I don't have 5 people at my funeral that said, oh, well, he worked really hard and he's got a lot of money.
Right.
You know, I want people at my funeral that said, dude, we went to fucking Vegas that one weekend and holy fuck, did we get into some trouble. That was a wild ride. You know what I mean? Like, I want my kid to be like, man, I had such a good childhood. I experienced so many things with my dad. You know, that's what I want to leave as that legacy. So I'm constantly trying to find that balance. And I think you should have both. I think you need to still look at things financially that way, but still have the balance in the other direction of living life and loving. Like, life is love, right? If you do not have love in your life, then you're not living.
Yeah.
So I'll shut the fuck up.
Oh, I agree with you. I think it's very normal for guys especially, and I think it's the way it should be, as we're natural providers. That's how we gauge our success. So if you can barely keep the lights on and you have a family at home, well, then you're probably not going to be that all successful in your own mind, even if you are spending time with your kids. So I think you're 100% right. You got to find that fine line of, all right, I'm making enough money. My kids and my wife or my family set up for success, but not at the expense of they don't know who dad is, or, you know, you never have sex with your wife anymore, never spend any time with her.
Well, that's no life I want to live.
Yeah. You got to find that fine line. That's funny because I've been wearing the same pair of Jordans, dude, for 3 fucking years because I like them. They haven't gotten dirty. Like, I could go buy new shoes. I'm wearing boots right now, which I just broke out because they match my belt. But literally, I don't go out and buy new clothes, or I just don't get much out of that. Even on my dream board, it's my blacked out F-150, and I'm working on blacking it out. But I don't need like a fucking Lambo or anything like that to dream about. I've always been more like, oh, me and Gator are going to fucking New York or Atlanta, or me and the family are going to Mexico and whatever vacation. Just those experiences are so much more valuable to me than just whatever like is the item of the month that you want to buy.
I agree.
I think it changes over time for me. I mean, right now I have a little son I just got full custody of. So, and I've told you this, I mean, you're very blessed to be able to buy your time. I think to me, time to experience, but to, you know, you buy your time. You're in a position to where you have a schedule that you've bought your time. If you want to go do whatever, take a week off, you want to, you know, go up to the cabin, you want to do those things, that's great. That's a goal that I'm working towards, is being able to buy my time back. We're all in this construct. I mean, you're an entrepreneur, but we're in this system where we have to work. We're a slave to working. I got a 30-year mortgage. I got a car payment. And I look back and like, man, I used to be like cash only when I was younger. Like, here's the cash. I own it. This is mine. And I fell into the cycle of, oh, let me get this nice mortgage payment. Let me get this truck payment. And yeah, now I'm stuck and I have to work this, you know, job, career to continue to, you know, pay these off. And so I agree 100%. Like, you need to maximize where your money's going so you can have the freedom. If I didn't have a mortgage payment and a car payment, I'd be living, you know, pretty high on the hog. But right now I don't. And there's no value.
You've also got like a 5-bedroom house with 2 people in it.
Little man has, I mean, and it's his house. I let him, he has toys everywhere. Like, we just do the thing, but there's no value on time for me. Like, and even at a point where like you're financially free and I'm happy for you. And that's a great thing to be able to I mean, you're at a point, I mean, obviously you still have ambitions and stuff, but I want to spend as much time I can with my son, make those memories, have experiences, do things that maybe I wasn't able to do when I was little. And I want to, you know, philanthropy, I want to get to a point where I can really impact people's lives. Maybe not financially, but start an organization that's really, I've been on a positive kick a lot lately, and being positive.
Philanthropy, what is that? Is that in a porno?
No. Bill Gates, people who have big, wealthy money, they do things. They impact like the world. I don't want to just impact, a couple people here and there. I want to impact a lot of people. I want to, leave a statement when I leave. I want people to like, maybe not just my name, but like what I stood for, what I represented. So, that's
what I'm trying to do with this fucking podcast. I think that's what Joel's trying to do with this podcast as well is, we're everyday, normal working people, but that doesn't mean that we can't help other people out. We have great life experience and great things that have happened that we can share. And if I can change somebody's life, or at least help change somebody's life, or even make them fucking laugh that day, when they're having a shitty day, then that's leaving a legacy.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bryan?
Yeah, let's hear from Bryan.
So for me, my wife is, she's an electrical engineer. She does pretty good for herself and for her family. So that leaves me to be a little bit more flexible with my success. So for me, I don't really put money as my happiness. That's not like my gravitational pull or anything like that. For me, obviously, I can't just sit at home and not do anything either. I am too like active to be doing that. So I try to do things that like better our family, better our relationships, and all of that. So, and while I'm still trying to make money, I did quit my job, and now I'm doing this, this position here for Dads Who Lift and all that. I'm still doing security, but I'm able to wake up with my daughter. I have a 3-month-old. She's about to be 4 months. I have a 12-year-old daughter. So for me, that's what pulls me in.
You've always still hustled though. Like as long as I've known you, you've always had at least 2 or 3 jobs.
I'm always doing something. Yeah, I can't. And for me, so like, with my 4-month-old, I'm up with her, I'm playing with her. As soon as I put her down, I go down to the basement, I start working out. And as soon as, so like next nap, I'm like, I go outside, mow. So I'm not like, I'm always doing something. I can't be like a couch potato. No way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a perfect world, selfishly, if I were to say, like, all right, what's success look like to you? Obviously, number one is provide an awesome life to my family. Number 2 has always been to have the time and the money that I can do what I want, kind of like you were just saying, buy your time. Yeah, do what I want when I want. That doesn't have to mean like right now we're going to go do something. We're going to go rent a yacht and like super flex all the time. But even something as like, I'm going to take a couple days off, take the family here, just get away for a little bit because you don't want to be grinding 16-hour days and filling up your bank account, like you said, and then you don't have any time. And you also don't want to have all the time in the world and then not have any money to go do anything. You want to find that perfect middle ground. Ideally, you have a bunch of both.
Right.
And that's that's successful.
So my life coach, which I'm doing like maintenance with now, but he's an older guy. He's older than me. He's got to be in his late 40s, I would say. But he took I don't know if he's still out, but he took 3 weeks off work for his fucking birthday.
Nice.
And when I first heard that, I looked down on it. I was like, man, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck does that? And then, like, I'm the type of guy that I don't even take up until like 30 was actually like a pivotal year to where I started changing things in my life and how I saw things. But before that, like, I didn't even have a birthday. I hadn't had a birthday party since I was probably like 18, or I think I went out for my 21st. That was the last time I probably had a birthday party. So to me, it was, that whole Midwest mentality of just another fucking day. What are you doing for your birthday? Oh, I'm working. Fuck, what do you mean? What am I doing for my birthday? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so this motherfucker takes, and I love him to death. I don't mean that in a bad way, but he takes 3 weeks off for his birthday. And at first I'm like looking down on it. And then now I think about it. I'm like, man, that is fucking awesome. That's badass to be able to have that kind of job, first of all, that he can just tell his clients like, hey, don't schedule anything the next 3 weeks. I'll be back in 3 weeks. And to have the financial freedom to be able to do that and just take 3 weeks off. And he even said, I talked to him before it and he was like, well, we had this trip planned. I think initially he was actually initially going to get married during this time. They had a trip planned. And then because of the COVID, they canceled the trip. Obviously, didn't go to get married or whatnot. But he was like, I don't care if I'm going to just stay at home. I'm still taking this 3 weeks to myself, you know? And that's fucking cool to be able to look at that and get to a place in your life that you can do that and actually value life and experiences enough to take that time and do it. So I feel like everything in life is like stages though, right? Because you can't, like, if you just started your company that year, you can't go take 3 weeks off. You know what I mean? Like I'm building multiple companies right now that are just startups, and we can't just take 3 weeks off and shut the company down. You know what I mean? And like even my landscape company, I can't take 3 weeks off and shut that company down, but I've got employees and people in position to where I could take 3 weeks. I never have. I don't know that I'm probably too OCD and too hands-on to be able to do that. But I probably could take 3 weeks off and let other people run the shit, you know? Right. So it's that whole balance, like we said. And like I said, this podcast doesn't need to be long as fuck. If you guys have anything else you want to throw in, we can. But I think we really got to it. I mean, it's balance. Life's going to happen. Things are going to happen. What is important to you? And that's a question that you have to ask yourself. What's important to you, and what do you want to be remembered as when you die? What is your legacy that you're going to live? And maybe you say that you want to be a billionaire when you die, and that's your legacy. Then that's cool, man. That's your fucking legacy. I can't tell you what is right for you. Right. But me, I want to have both. I want to have not a billionaire. I don't ever see myself as a billionaire, and nor do I even care to be. But I want to be financially stable. I want to leave money to my family, and I also want to live a badass life where people talk about me, and they don't just say that guy works 24/7. But they say, man, that dude fucking lives. He travels. How do you do it? That's what I want people to say.
Right. That kind of reminds me of I don't know if you guys have been watching the Chicago Bulls documentary.
Oh,
The Last Dance.
Finished.
It's probably going to win every freaking documentary award this year. But anyway, it's pretty sweet. But I think about Michael Jordan and legacy, right? And obviously it was important to him, but people are now taken away and they're starting to look, okay, who currently is on that level? And, obviously LeBron James comes to mind, Kobe Bryant probably before, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But, I think about what LeBron James does in his philanthropy, and you kind of brought it up. I almost think that his legacy is going to be a lot longer lasting because there's going to be a lot of kids. I mean, I'm not saying that Michael Jordan, he will always be considered the GOAT of basketball. I'm sorry. At least in my lifetime, I don't know. Maybe we will see somebody come up maybe here before I die or something. But, man, it's going to be tough. 6 championships. But I think about, like, in the legacy of basketball, probably not going to be eclipsed. But I think in the overall legacy, you were kind of touching on. What do you want to be remembered for? LeBron James started a school.
Yeah.
Right.
He gave kids education for a lifetime. Yep. And those kids that graduate with certain GPAs or whatever, as long as they get through and they graduate he pays for their college. Yeah. So I think that's going to go far beyond, in my opinion. So when we're talking legacy, I don't know. I think LeBron James is going to eclipse that on a larger scale, on something different. He's going to go beyond basketball. And who knows, LeBron James might run for office. I don't know if Michael Jordan will ever run for office because he's got a lot of skeletons, you know what I mean? He's got a lot of, he's got a lot of baggage, gambling and all. But I'm not pissing on Michael Jordan because I love him as an athlete and all this stuff, but legacy, I don't know. I think I put LeBron James on a
basketball aside, hands down. I mean, that's impactful. I mean, what he's doing, I don't care if you're a Brown fan or not. Like, you can respect him as a man because of what he's doing outside.
Kobe Bryant the same way.
Yeah,
Kobe Bryant was doing a lot of great things off the court, on the court, but outside of the NBA, he was doing stuff for his daughter and the women's basketball and stuff like that. So I feel like there is something more, and I think someday when they tell the LeBron James story, that documentary might
It's add value, dude. You got to add value. Like, where the fuck are you going to add value? Any company that's successful is adding value to people, to clients, to somebody. Any friendship, you're adding value. That's a successful, healthy friendship. I believe any relationship, you're adding value to the other person. It's like where people have this mindset of take. What can I get? And not to go too deep down a rabbit hole, but that usually stems from like people are so fucking empty inside. Nobody's full inside from themselves. So they're constantly looking for validation or things from different people to fill themselves up. What can I get from you to feel better? What can I get from you to feel better?
Right.
And that's the complete opposite of how you should look at life. And you should be so full from within, self-love and or your higher power. I feel my energy and my higher power from inside me. And
when you guys had Larry on, he was great. He kind of made the point, Larry Hagner, from the Good Dad Project. He made a really good point because you guys were talking
about home with full pockets to
an
house
empty heart.
full of strangers or something.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but I not just that one, but also the one about how with relationships, was it might not have been Larry Hagner, it might have been the other life coach that you had.
Sal
on.
DiStefano, yeah.
Are you talking about Caleb Moran?
Yes, Caleb Moran. I'm sorry. You guys had a lot of good people on, so that's why I'm confused. But he mentioned 100-100. There's
no 50-50.
There's no 50-50. So adding value, 50-50 doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Everybody has to do 100-100, which I thought was a beautiful point. And I kind of brought that into my own relationship because it's like, I can't just expect her to, she takes care of this and I take care of that. No, we go together, and it's 100% each. So I just think, I thought that was a really good point. I feel like you were kind of.
And the crazy thing too is like, you'll find when you get to that place, the law of attraction, man, whatever you put out comes back to you. So if you're constantly taking from people, you'll find that you're surrounded from people that are taking from people and take from you.
Did you ever read that book, The Go-Giver?
No, I haven't read it.
So it's a principle. No. It's a mindset book. Taught me a principle to give. The opposite of that is to receive. So if I'm always giving,
actually I did.
If I'm giving my time to people, like the opposite of it is I have to receive. Yep. It also teaches you not to if someone gives you a compliment, don't just be dismissive. But hey, thanks, I appreciate that. Giving the gratitude back. So if you're in a giving state, the opposite of that in the law of attraction naturally is to receive. So I've applied that to my life, being positive, just giving time, being a better friend, just giving advice, giving whatever it may be, just give.
It'll always come back. It's a lot.
Proof is in the pudding. It's real. It happens. It comes back to you. The Go-Giver. It's a very simple concept. And Ty and I've talked about this a lot. Like when I do something, I don't do it with any thought of what's reciprocated back to me.
That was a really hard thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I used to always, anytime I did something, I wanted something back.
And I'll tell you, listen, if you want to be
what was your motive for doing that?
Yeah. What was?
Well, I wanted to be validated, or I wanted to thank you. You know what I mean? Like, no, you should not have a motive. Your motive should be that you wanted to do that it feels good to do it.
Yep. You're a good man.
Anytime you do something to get something back,
question your moral compass. If I do something with my hidden agenda, what's really inside, like, if I want to give love, I'm doing it because I love you, I care about you. I'm not doing it because I want that love back. I mean, it feels good to get it back, but I love and I'm going to give it. Now, obviously, boundaries, someone burns you, someone hurts you. You don't have to give that love constantly to that same person. But, yeah, I mean, it's a huge mind concept to get wrapped around, but give, set up boundaries, and
the
things
more you
start
give,
coming.
You will receive, though. That's the crazy thing. The more you take, the less you'll receive.
The less, yeah.
But the more you give, if you're trying to add value in every aspect of your life, things will come up.
The Go-Giver, listen to it. It's a great audio. It definitely gave me that one key mindset, and it's been incredible.
Right.
I'm glad I shared that with you because I think it's definitely helped you grow in the last year of why am I really doing this? Why am I sending this text? Or why am I, doing this?
Buying that $2,000 bottle of whiskey for Joel.
That's right. 'Cause he loves you.
I heard Jameson. That's what I heard. All right, guys, you got anything else you want to throw in?
No, I think that's a great way to leave off. I know Tony Robbins talks about that a lot. It's like no matter what's in your bank account or what you're making, if you can find something to give back, you'll find out that it always comes back tenfold, which again, it's tough to not be in that, all right, well, what can I get out of this? But just one thing at a time without trying to do it selfishly at first. I think that'll come with time. Just get in the habit of providing value, helping people out around you. So worst case scenario, even if you don't get anything back, which I don't think would be the case, to wrap it all up, if people are standing over your casket someday, they can at least say, he gave me a truck, he let me use this, he did this for me. So you can at least go out, on a positive note.
Absolutely. Amen. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, got anything out of it, please give us a like, share. We do this stuff for free. We really need your support. So please share this on YouTube or subscribe to the YouTube, share this, give us a 5-star review. If you didn't like it, I'm not asking anything from you. Don't worry about it. But if you got something out of this, please support us. We're on IG, Dads Who Lift Official. We're on Facebook, Dads Who Lift Podcast. We also have a Dads Who Lift group. If you are a dad who lifts, we have a group of 30,000 guys called Dads Who Lift and growing like crazy on Facebook. Just a supportive group to help everybody be the best dad that they can be and stay in their, in good physical shape. So we are on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. We're on all the formats, guys. So we appreciate your support. Listen, there's no way to be the best version of yourself if you're not raising the bar.
Raising the bar isn't just about doing the things you're supposed to be doing. It's about doing those things that no one expects you to do and doing them perfectly.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you love this podcast and you are a dad who lifts, check out our Facebook group, Dads Who Lifts, and join. You can also catch this podcast on SoundCloud, YouTube, www.dadswholifapparel.com. We also have a Dads Who Lift Apparel Facebook page.